So the other day I wanted help with something and I asked Siri, and what I didn't know is that if you set Siri to sound Australian, she expects you to sound Australian. Listen to this. It understood me until I said heights. How to not be afraid of heights. 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 How to not be afraid of heights.
Let me think. Here's what I found on the web for how to not be afraid of heights. How did the hot feel free to hate?
Alright, ready? How to not be afraid of heights. It's the worst Australian accent.
Let's see. Here's what I found on the web for how to not be afraid of heights.
Hey everybody, what's up? So I wasn't gonna make a third Canada versus Australia video because I didn't think you guys would be interested in it. But apparently this series is very popular and you guys asked plenty of times for a third one. I've now been in Australia for 11 months and right now I live in rural Victoria, which is where, you know, let's face it, there are a lot of bogans. And so some of these on this list are more bogan, which is totally fine. Bogan, for Canadians and everyone who's not Australian, is like what we think that Australians sound like is what people here think bogans sound like. So apparently it's not a good thing to sound that Australian, but to us it's just super endearing. So I'm gonna let you know what people say. This is a combination of rural Victoria, Melbourne, New South Wales, and Queensland. So let's start off easy. Coolers are cruisers. Cookies are biscuits. Crackers are called bickies. So I asked my roommate, Emma, what they call cheese and crackers. And I was like, don't you call it cheese and crackers? And she was like, no, it's cheese and bickies. I was like, what? Gum is called a chewy. Like, would you like a chewy? I don't get it. I guess they're just much more literal here. Also, they don't have cheddar cheese, they have tasty cheese. The living room is called the lounge room. If you want candy like lollipops, gummy bears, anything like that, they're called lollies. I don't even know, I know that they call something candy here, but it's just like even when you go to Woolies, when you go to the grocery store, on the signs up in the aisle it says sweets and lollies or lollies and chocolate and stuff like that, which I think is a really, you know, much better name than candy. Ugh, what is with you, son? Can I? What? I can just do that? I didn't know this curtain was movable. This whole time. Ice cubes are called ice blocks sometimes, and popsicles are called ice blocks or icy poles sometimes. If your phone is dead, it's flat. If you have a Charlie horse, you have a horse bite. They have this strange breed of vehicle, which is a truck and car love child called a ute, spelled U-T-E, and it looks like this. I personally don't understand. I think it's the most funny looking car ever. I'm sorry, Australians, but it is. We don't have it. I've never seen it in Canada, or the States for that matter, but people here think having a ute is the sexiest thing ever. I was with my friend Justine and we saw this like puke green colored ute. Sorry, Justine, but she was like, that, oh my God, look at that ute. It's so sexy. And I'm like, what? That looks like an alien designer car. If you're hungover, teach yourself to like Vegemite. Vegemite is this, I mean, I was introduced to it by a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie called Our Lips Are Sealed. Thumbs up if you've seen that movie. But it looks really good because it looks like Nutella, essentially. But it is the saltiest, like if you mixed soy sauce into a paste and added yeast. Don't put too much on your toast because it'll be the grossest thing ever, and have it with something else. So have it with cream cheese. What I can stomach it with is on a bicky with a slice of avocado. That's good stuff. Anyway, point is, if you're hungover, have some Vegemite on toast the next day. It'll bring you back. Here, if someone orders a cuppa or asks you if you want a cuppa, it means do you want a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I didn't actually hear that term till I came to rural Victoria, so I don't know how true that is for the rest of the country. However, on Home and Away, which is a TV show in Australia, they said it, and so I digress. It's gotta be in the rest of the country too. Now here's something that's super confusing. If someone asks you out for tea or over for tea, they don't necessarily mean tea. They could mean breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or they could ask you for morning tea or afternoon tea, which means morning snack or afternoon snack. You basically have to judge what time of day they want you over and then presume whether they'll feed you or not. So people here use the term cannot be fussed all the time, and it means more than one thing. If you really don't want to do something, like you're feeling really lazy or whatever, if you don't want to go to work, you could be like, oh, I cannot be fussed to go to work today. Or I cannot be fussed to make dinner. Like, I cannot be fussed. Or if, say, you and your friend are trying to make a decision and you couldn't really care either way, you'd be like, I'm not fussed. Either way, I'm not fussed. Plaid shirts are called flannies, as in flannel, even if they're not made of flannel. The plaid pattern is called a flanny. A counter, called a bench. And a bench, I don't know what that's called. Is it called a bench? Next is the C word. Now, for all of you Australians, the C word is it's like up there with the N word. I'm not gonna say it in this video because it's highly offensive to some people, but people here say it all the time. It's basically another way of saying, hey friend. You'd be like, oi. I can't do it. I can't say it. I can say it here, but I'm not gonna say it on this video because here it's in context. In fact, if you say, oi, then it means something better than if you say like, yeah, righto mate. Mate means you hate them sometimes. And the C word in North America definitely means you hate them. The C word for all you Australians is essentially only used by a girl who really hates another girl. You use it sparingly and wisely. I've only used it on one person in my life. But yeah, the first time over here that someone used that word in front of me, they'd be like, sup? I was like, ah! This is such a bad word. Here, if you hook up, it's called get a root. That's only in rural Victoria that I've heard that, so I don't know how bogan it is. If someone is stressing out, they're called a stress head. If someone is going crazy and you just want them to calm the fuck down, or if they're completely wrong and being a C word in North America terms, you tell them to pull your head in. So if someone is down the fucking rabbit hole and you are hating on what they're saying or whatever, you'd be like, mate, pull your fucking head in. But that is not to get confused with something doing your head in. So if someone's driving you crazy, then they're doing your head in. But also if someone is like so attractive or like driving you crazy in a good way, you can also say it's doing your head in. Here's some more ridiculous Australian city names for you. Humpty Doo, Wongalpong, Bindi Bindi, Pakapuno, Titty Bong, Wonthaggi, Molonglo, Humpy Bong, Jim Cum Billy, Nowhere Else. They barely have any North American makeup, whatever, or North American junk food. They don't have Crispy Crunch, ketchup chips, oh, Henry bars. They sometimes have Reese's peanut butter cups if you go to the right store. They don't have Nestle Crunch, Rolo, Lay's, Miss Vicky's, any of that. They have chicken flavored chips and it's totally the norm here. Like that would replace salt and vinegar chips on how normal it is for people to buy that flavor. Also over here, ice cream bars are the shit. You will get honeycomb / that's what sponge toffee's called, covered ice cream bars and like double caramel and like kangaroo green tea ice cream bars. It's insane. By the way, kangaroo tastes so good. They also have every flavor of Tim Tam that you could possibly imagine. Oh, so good. Also, the McDonald's here has a much more extensive list of food that you can get. McDonald's has an actual barista working at their actual cafe, and at this cafe you can get cookies, muffins, macaroons, grilled sandwiches, like heaps of stuff that we can't get. It's just all around better. When I leave, the #1 thing, I mean, no, okay, I shouldn't say that, but a huge thing that I'm gonna miss when I'm gone is the coffee and the food. All right, so that is it for volume 3 of Canada versus Australia. I don't even know like how many you guys want me to make, but I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if anything else that's different in a country that you visited versus your country or what have you. Just comment anything, but please don't comment anything mean, because you know we're all friends here and I'm Canadian. I love you guys a lot and I'll see you all next Thursday. All right, bye.
Let the night come.